up a little bit of a following and a personality. You think they let him speak to the media? Would you let him speak to the media?
Of course I would. This is one of my biggest complaints. How this guy's been a head coach. He's thoughtful.
And Berube
How's it going
hates
to hurt
it.
you? Yeah, he hates talking.
Right?
Let your assistants come out and give some thoughts. Let's hear it.
That will be interesting to see under Pelly if they do change the sort of the assistant coach mentality, because they've never let the assistant coaches talk.
They're so afraid of like a little disagreement or
something interesting.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd let him talk.
No?
What's the harm?
The harm
slightly
is
different message.
Yes,
We'll get it right in a corrective statement.
A little bit, yeah.
At least you get another angle, keep it fresh,
I
get
know.
some insights.
You can kind of twist things a little bit.
They're not doing rocket science, though. It's
not rocket appliances.
It's not rocket
But
appliances.
the media will pounce on anything that looks, especially.
And then
it
people
all
are
depends.
talking about you.
It,
Great.
it depends if it's followed. The comments are followed by like a 4-game losing streak.
Yeah.
Then you kind of have the ability to.
Then Willie
get
goes
things
on and he says,
twisted.
"What's the big deal?" And then you just go on a 4-game winning streak.
Unless it's the end of the season and your 3-game losing streak knocks you out.
Yeah, that's true.
Since we're doing Leafs now,
Oh, no.
and I'm going full Johnny Leaf fan here, but I want the Leafs to overpay Bennett bad.
You're ready.
Oh, I'm all in. I'm all in. I'm watching him on that ice with those guys and Florida. I mean, like you said, like Max said, Reinhart maybe not healthy, Kachuk maybe not healthy,
Yeah.
but like Bennett jumps off the ice. He's their best
Jess,
player by far.
I
right
don't
now.
see him leaving Florida.
Well, please leave and come to Toronto and guide them through. Please.
He really was awesome.
Awesome.
Game 1. And if
been awesome
you're
the whole
complaining about
playoffs.
the Leafs or about is that they're an around, not a
Yeah.
through team.
Yeah.
There is no bigger hole punch of a player than this guy.
You can go around or through.
Believe the armrest off my chair here is going to throw
Do you
me
believe?
off.
Do you believe that Brock Nelson, who just signed,
So he's just not leaving.
and the lack of center iceman available will just get teams to overpay him?
I think it probably is going to affect things. What do you expect to happen here? It seems like you have some insight.
No,
on that.
I just think he stays. I think he stays. I think Ekblad stays, and Marchand's gone.
Marchand's gone.
Yeah.
To the Leafs.
What do you
That's more of a
By the way,
realistic.
can I whisper this?
Whoa.
So everyone who loves
that's
Marchand.
more realistic.
That Draisaitl's his on the back door.
That Brad Marchand ends up signing and playing wing with Matthews is more realistic than Bennett.
What about both? They'd be so playoffy if that happened. To just
For
to,
2 years till they're just
not.
not fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess if you want to throw the 12 and a half his way, because that's what's I think it's going to take for him to leave Florida.
12 and a half. Come on. Come on.
Hey,
Kipper.
10 is only 8 in Florida.
Yeah, 12 and a half is just
Florida's not losing him at $8 million, are
So
they? Are they?
You know, I don't know.
So the Leafs are going to have to pay Sam Bennett more than Mikko Rantanen to get him. Come on.
Come on. Listen, get off. You got to get off the number and get into
I thought the taxes don't matter, Kipper.
No. In this case, it does.
Oh, in this case.
In this case, it probably
Let's
does.
move those goalposts.
You're gonna leave a Florida where there's one beat writer and nobody ever says a bad word about you to come up here.
Okay, great. You've won 2 cups there, and there's 15 people at the elbow room after you won the cup. You want to come here and be a hero, or do you want to stay down there and be anonymous?
And how many heroes have they had in the past 50 plus years?
The Leafs?
Yeah.
Maybe you're the guy. What if you're the guy? That's why guys keep signing here.
What if you're the
What
guy?
if you're the guy?
I think he stays and they find $8 million to give him.
I mean, yeah, of course they'd pay him $8 million. $8 million, $8 million is a
10,
no-brainer.
a lot of other places, 10 plus.
14 in Toronto, though.
Cost of living.
Maybe more than McDavid.
But he
You know how
drives a
short-sighted-
golf cart.
hold on. You know how short-sighted all
he
this stuff
drives
is,
a
Kip?
golf cart out of his driveway. They all have golf carts down there.
Sick.
Darcy Tucker's cashing paychecks, 30 years after his career because he's a Leaf.
Yes.
Like, these guys play the short game. If they're like, oh, I'll save $1 million in taxes this year.
Darcy
It's like,
never made $100 million. These guys will finish with $100 million. They don't need anything past their careers.
So the argument is now money doesn't matter? Because it seems like you're making a money argument.
I'm making what it could potentially take for them to want to leave Florida. That's all. That's my whole point.
I just think if you are looking at money, it's the dumbest thing to be like, oh, in Toronto, it's going to cost me an extra million. It's like, yeah, go be the dude in Toronto. Nola Chari got a cookie sponsorship here. You know,
Ilya Mikheyev was a soup guy. He couldn't stick handle. And they're like, how about a soup?
He likes soup, everyone.
Yeah.
Give him 50 grand.
I'm sorry to go. Auberg is playing this like I would.
I'm watching this.
Oh
I'm
my
chopping down the hill
God.
here.
Anyways.
Would you say squirrel?
watching the goal.
Squirrel.
Listen, it's Friday, baby. We're off the rails. Marco Sturm's the Bruins coach.
He is.
Yeah. Exciting?
Yeah, I don't think there's a ton of pressure on him in the next year to contend.
It feels to me like the Bruins are like
2 years.
I don't know
2
what we
years,
are here.
3 years to regroup.
it feels like they're starting to get lost in the wilderness.
Nick Hague, I heard Pittsburgh and Montreal.
Pittsburgh would be a good fit.
Lot of interest.
Montreal's pretty good on D. Someone like Hague would be really good for them. Those are both good options.
Brock Nelson signing means that probably Charlie Coyle, who's got another year left on his deal, would be moved out of Colorado.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah.
What about that for the Leafs? I like that.
He might be available.
No?
You know,
Tavares, Matthews, Tavares, Coyle? Coyle, Tavares?
He
Matthews,
never.
Tavares?
Look at his playoff stats.
He never scores.
Never scores.
Sick. That's
He
awesome.
fit right in. Like I honestly think he's.
You know who scores in playoffs? Easton Cowan.
You know who scores in playoffs? Sam Bennett.
Okay.
Bennett does score in playoffs.
So both teams have shown the ability in the playoffs to
He had a
overcome
good year in 2019.
2-0 deficits. Could the Florida Panthers overcome a 2-0 deficit? Doug thinks not.
Yeah.
Is it a big deal if Florida goes home down 2-0?
Yeah, they're toast.
Okay.
They're toast.
All right.
Those are two.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you.
Tonight is the biggest must-win they could possibly have.
All right. Florida Panthers, Edmonton Oilers. Pregame starts at 7:30. Puck drop 8 p.m. Sportsnet, CBC. Our thanks to Off the Rails Doug McLean, who's still on the line. Hi, Doug.
Very possibly.
Go home. It's over. Don't you remember that in Ferris Bueller, right? When he looks and says, go home.
Yes.
The movie's over. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend, everybody.